Hey everyone, I'm ShadowDTV, also known as Richie. Welcome to the first episode of Infinite Snap, a Marvel Snap podcast. We're joined here today by our regular co-host, Tom, also known as Kutso. How you doing, Tom?
Good, yourself?
Good, yeah, I'm quite good today. I've been playing a bit of Marvel Snap, of course. I'm doing a few other things, but yeah, had a bit of time to play today, which is good. We're recording this on the weekend, guys. We will normally be recording this on a Tuesday in Australia. We are both Australian from the land down under. So we'll be recording on Tuesdays and then live on Twitch, and then it'll be uploaded to all podcasting apps and YouTube on the Wednesday. But for the first episode, we're recording on the weekend, just getting a feel for everything. Yeah, so guys, I thought we'd get started on our gaming backgrounds and sort of what we've been playing growing up, and then how we got into card games and digital card games like Marvel Snap. So I'll start off. I grew up PlayStation 1, first console, and then skipped the PS2, went Nintendo Wii, then PS3, and then from then on PlayStation until I started PC gaming, really, in the last few years. Best favorite game, I think of all time would be, maybe I'm going to go with Abe's Odyssey is my favorite. Yeah, probably the first Abe's Odyssey would have to be it, the first Oddworld game. Tom, what is your gaming background like growing up?
Similar to you. So first console was the PlayStation, then just continued on with PlayStation. So I had the 2, 3, 4, and then obviously now the 5. And then a few Nintendo handhelds mixed in between that. So, the Game Boy Advance to play Pokemon, and the PSP as well.
Of
So
course, how
pretty
did
much everything PlayStation.
the PSP? I did not have the PSP,
Yeah.
but how could I forget the Nintendo Game Boy? Game Boy Advance SP was actually my first one, so I had a backlight, which was nice.
I ended up having both. So I started with the original Game Boy Advance and then went to the backlight with the SP, which was much better.
Yeah, I remember I had the SP, and I knew a kid that just had the Game Boy Advance, and like in a car ride, he would be like, he had like his little light to play.
Yeah.
And I just got my backlight, and I'm like, oh, I feel so bad for you. Cool. So yeah, both PlayStation people. You had all the PlayStations. I skipped 2. I don't even know why I never had a PlayStation 2. It's just I don't know. It's so random. Cool. And then gaming, like card gaming backgrounds. So I played throughout like high school, like a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, but then mostly at uni, Pokemon trading card game and Yu-Gi-Oh, like on and off. And then Hearthstone, from the day Hearthstone came out, 2014, I want to say. I played that like on and off all through university, and then like up until now, still playing it. Probably way more consistent now than when I was younger, which is weird because I have way less time. But and then of course now I'm playing Marvel Snap. So it only came out in Australia like 2 weeks ago. I think like just over 2 weeks ago, the beta.
Like
so we actually haven't had the game that long compared to, I guess, like the US, who have had it for like a few months now, I think.
No, I think it was out to everyone. I think it was just dependent on, because it was closed beta. Oh wait, no, so it was closed beta.
It's closed
for Android
beta.
users.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
So
I
closed,
remember I applied for it, but still didn't get it.
but didn't get it. That's right.
To go in, and then they released it. Yeah, for the whole.
Yeah, you're correct.
Oh, that's right. That's
And
what happened.
I'm like a pleb that still has an iPhone, so I actually did sign up for it. I was still trying to get in. I'm like, I could just play on my computer. But yes, neither of us got accepted into that. So yeah, we've only been playing for a few weeks. So still getting to like I feel like we have enough knowledge now that like we know the game. Like we know what we're doing. Card gaming background, so like we picked it up pretty quickly. But like yeah, our collection levels are not as high as other people's would be. I see like people that were in the closed beta like 1,500 plus. I'm like, what? Like even spending money, like you're not gonna, because you can only spend so much money on credits per day. So like even then, if you were buying the max credits every day, you're not getting that far ahead without having the game for a few months and playing the heck out of it. So yeah, so guys, the podcast Infinite Snap, we're going to be doing this weekly. We're going to have guests on. You're going to have myself and Tom here most weeks. And yeah, we're just going to be chatting all things Marvel Snap. So we're going to be, so it's going to be on Tuesdays in Australia, Tuesday evenings. We're going to record it live on Twitch. On my Twitch channel, you'll see it in the bottom, ShadowDTV. So go and give that a follow. And then we will be uploading it. It'll be on all good podcasting platforms, and it will be on YouTube as well for those of you that like to watch it. I believe Spotify now actually do video podcasts, so you can listen to it, but you can also watch it, which is really cool. So if you use Spotify, you can do that as well. We're going to be talking about our thoughts on the game, all the latest updates, talk about the meta. So like we're both pretty competitive like people when it comes to card games. I know in Pokemon we're both quite competitive. Sorry, Tom. Yeah, you tell us what you've been like, how you got into card games, and like what card games you like to play.
So with card games, I started playing. Oh, I would say playing Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid.
Yeah, like we all did.
Just bought those cheap knockoff decks from the $2 shop.
Yep.
Never actually played the game properly, and then didn't really touch card games for a while. I started playing Slay the Spire,
Ooh,
which is a different type of card game.
good game.
It's a deck builder. So that is very different to other type of cards game, but some of the mechanics still remain.
100%. Yep.
So I started playing that, and then I think pretty much you, Richard, got me into Pokemon. I remember you said, "Let's try it out. It's fun." And then we played one game, and I was hooked, and then spent $150 or whatever on my first deck. Started going to weekly nights at Grand J. So
yeah, Pokemon League at Grand J Games. Hit him up. Hit up there. Gets a shout out there. Get a free sponsorship. Get a sponsorship, I reckon. We'll hit up Grand J.
So yeah, would play Pokemon for the last 6-7 months now.
Yep.
And then got into Battlegrounds a bit.
In Hearthstone.
Never played the proper Hearthstone on its own, but Battlegrounds was fun. Which is also like a different type. It's not really deck building.
Yeah, it's
like
weird.
Other games, but
it's weird. Yeah, it's weird because they're card games, but like they're not they're not traditional like battle card games. Yeah.
Yeah, the mechanics are there, but it's just not. You don't have a deck and start
Yeah,
playing cards. You don't know what your deck is. It changes game to game, which is similar to what Slay the Spire is.
Yeah, that's right. And guys, if you haven't, Slay the Spire is a really cool video game. I hadn't played it until Tom told me about it. It's it's quite cool. If you like card games, I'm sure you've probably played it or you'd enjoy it.
Yeah. So then Pokemon pretty much took over, but it's been in a bit of a lull at the moment. If anyone follows the Pokemon TCG, it's I feel like everything's just died down a bit with no more regionals happening. So
yep,
gotten into Marvel Snap pretty heavily.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, for all those Pokemon people out there, like the Worlds is coming up, but it's like kind of not much else going on right now. If you're into Pokemon, you'll know all about that. So that's card gaming backgrounds. What else we're going to be talking about in the podcast? We're going to be talking about all the cards. When we've got new cards, current cards, the locations. If you've played Marvel Snap, the locations are very important. We're going to talk about like the monetization. I think that's a big talking point on all like digital card games. Like card games in real life are expensive, but how much are people willing to spend in a digital sense? You don't actually own the physical card. And yeah, we're going to have like some guests on each week. Like obviously we're not going to be able to, we've got things to do in life, we go on holidays, things like that. So we'll get some guests on to fill in spots when we need to. Guys, for socials, if you're wondering socials, they're all going to be in the video. So you'll see the Discord, you'll see the Twitch channel, YouTube channel. You'll see mine and Tom's Twitter. So you can go and follow those. You'll see me posting Marvel stuff and like other video games as well, but like mostly Marvel stuff. Tom's big sport fan, so you'll see him posting a bunch of sports stuff as well as some gaming stuff. Cool. So let's. So this is just like our first episode. So it's kind of like an introduction episode. Just introducing ourselves and everything. But I thought like for today we could just talk about like the current state of Marvel in like it's in beta. So like the current state, like what our thoughts are on what's to come, and yeah. So like, did you have any thoughts, Tom, on like are you enjoying the game? Is there anything you think could be done better right now?
I think it's a very different to obviously coming from a Pokemon background where you can literally just, there's a deck you want to build, you can just get the cards you want. So at this stage, it's very difficult to get cards you want because you only get them every X amount of collection levels.
Yep.
But then you won't get the cards you necessarily want. So then you might want to have a deck in mind that you want to build. Like for example, I have a Dino deck which has, for those who don't know what that does, you played
Devil Dinosaur?
Yeah.
Devil Dinosaur. I always forget its name as well.
And you get +2, for every card in hand. So there's a card that's called the Collector, which will fit that deck perfectly, but I just haven't had access to get it.
Yeah.
So, I'm just hoping every time I get a new card that's going to be the one. And when it's just not, then not much you can do. So
yep.
I think that's probably something that I hope they're thinking of improving or being able to get the cards you want.
Yep.
So I don't know what that would look like, but I hope that's something that they're considering.
I think that's been a big talking point. Games like Hearthstone, you can just spend money and get enough packs, disenchant the cards, and craft the exact cards you want. One solution I heard was people were talking about like you get offered 3 cards to choose from each time you get a mystery card. So
Yeah.
like especially for pool 3, once you get above like 500 collection level, you're getting cards like very infrequently. So if they gave you like I guess an option, it's like oh one of these 3 cards, hopefully there's going to be at least one card that you've been thinking of using in a deck. And that's right. Like right now, like I was testing out the discard like swarm deck, which really relies on Hellcow, which is a like pool 3 card. So I'm almost at pool 3, but even then, like who's to say that it's not the last pool 3 card that I get? So yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's a big thing. Um, Other than that, I think the game is in a good state. I think so there was the Nexus event, which happened like a week ago. Sorry, all the stuff people have been outraged about the Nexus event, which was probably about 3 weeks ago now. Um, if you haven't heard what it was just like a monetization like thing that was going to be exclusive cards that were really expensive, basically. And it's really cool. Ben Brode came out like last week and cleared it all up and said, "Hey, we're giving everyone their money back that spent money on this," which is really cool. And the card that was the exclusive cards, Jane Foster, everyone's getting now, which is really cool. And if you're just starting the game, you will be able to unlock her for free, which is really cool that they're listening to the community. They're making sure that I feel like they're not a bunch of evil people trying to rip us off to play this game. I think they want to see the game grow, and I'm glad that they've, I guess, resolved that for us. So yeah, Ben Brode is a good guy, I reckon.
I feel like even when
Ben Brode equals good guy.
when they first announced the game, it seems like the people aren't just in it for the money. They seem like they're actually invested in making this game the best it can be.
Yeah.
So obviously they still need to make money, and with the Marvel IP, they're
Yeah.
probably expected to make a lot of money.
Oh, I mean, do you know how expensive the Marvel IP would be just to
Yeah.
like make a game? Yeah, that's right. They need to make.
So
Yeah.
I think it's good that they're trying stuff, because I think they're always going to try some sort of monetization tactic,
You have to.
whether it be this or something else.
Yeah.
And this obviously didn't work. Everyone hated it pretty much. So
Yeah. Well,
it's good that they've realized it and said, no, okay, we're not going to do this anymore.
Yep.
Here's your money back. Here's the exclusive stuff that you had the chance of getting that you just get.
Yeah,
then they can reorganize what they're going to do.
I think the giving everyone what they spent back was massive. Like
Yeah.
that was the big thing for me, because it's like we could just like sweep it under the rug and be like, yeah, sorry about that, guys. We're not going to do another Nexus event, but we're going to keep all the money that we made from it. It was they realized that they did stuff up.
Is it still so that, you didn't get your money back? You got the gold back. Is
Yes.
that what happened?
So yes.
Yeah.
So, but
So
it's like
I guess you can just use that if you invested. Just say if you invested X amount of dollars on the gold, I think you're invested in the game enough anyway.
Yeah.
So you're going to use it, keep playing.
That's true. You're probably going to spend more money down the track.
Yeah. So it's still like they still get the money from it, but at least it can be used for something else. They could have easily just said, okay, this didn't work, and just you didn't get anything from it. Tough luck. You don't get your money. You don't get gold back. Nothing.
That's right. So I think good move. If they hadn't have done that, it would have been like, I think it would have still been okay, but I think they did the right thing. Like they've kept everyone happy. No one's going to be complaining. Like I reckon in like 3 months' time, no one's going to be talking like this Nexus event will be a thing of the past. No one will care, or be talking about it. I think like we said, all games have to have like monetization nowadays. Like you can't just make a free game and not earn any money. Like what's the point? A big IP like Marvel would not be cheap, so you need to pay staff, you need people to make the game. So like of course we expect to pay money. It's just how much is reasonable. I think the way the game is now is fine, but it feels weird buying credits to level up a collection to get random cards, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Like it's like I'm gonna drop like let's say just 50 Australian dollars, for example, to I might get like 30 collection levels. And if I don't get what I wanted, then do I go out and spend another $50? Do I just keep spending money till I get that card? But I guess like as a new game, they want you to play the game and unlock things naturally. Like if I could just have everything right now, would I get bored of the game in a week's time? I don't know.
Yeah. So it's like it's probably a weird thought, but like thinking of like the old school fighting games, you used to get the game, you'd have like 5 or 6 characters or maybe more depending on the game, and then you'd literally keep playing and unlock more of them.
That's true.
But now it's literally just you get everything all at once, and it's like, well, what am I playing for?
Yeah, that's
I think that's a good way, because you keep playing and you unlock more. But I think the more you when you start out, you get it so frequently that
Yep.
you get that dopamine hit. Oh, I got this new card. I got this
Yeah,
new
yeah, yeah,
card. What does this do? Try and make synergies with all the cards you already have.
yeah,
But then the more you play it, the more you think, I know I'm not going to get this card for a while,
yep,
and so now I'm just stuck where I have to hope I get a card.
yep.
Where when you first start the game, you don't really know the decks, you don't know the metas, you don't know anything, so you're just excited to unlock stuff and you get them really quickly. But then now, when you're in that like mid, like end of tier, end of pool 2, you're just waiting to get the cards you know you want, but you just know it's going to be either forever to get them or you
Or
just don't get them at all.
yeah, or
So
spend heaps of money and just get them straight away. But yeah,
yeah,
that's a good way to think about it. I never really thought about it. I guess just we're now in this world where you pay for a game, you just spend money and you get whatever you want. Like, oh, if I want to unlock a
yeah,
new character in a game, I can just spend money and unlock that character. Whereas,
yeah,
yeah, video games like fighting games, I think of like Super Smash Brothers, you had to play the game to unlock the characters. You couldn't
yeah,
just like turn it on. You have all the characters. Like, yeah, that's exactly right. It gave you a reason to want to play the story mode and get through
yeah,
the game. But yeah, so I think yeah, that's a really really interesting point. But yeah, I guess you want a game that's gonna have longevity. You don't want it to be like yeah 6 months and everyone's over the game because they've unlocked everything. And I think what you said about the meta when I started playing, I didn't look at the meta because exactly right. I'm just unlocking cards. I'm winning games. I'm having fun. Now I've realized like oh I'm checking out meta decks. I don't have this card. Oh
yeah,
this is a cool deck. Oh I'm missing these 3 cards from pool 3. And yeah,
exactly.
I guess for now I'm just trying to play, enjoy the game, like trying to win, of course, but then also understanding that I'm going to get to a point in the ranks where people are going to have cards that I don't have access to, and it's going to
Yeah,
be. But I guess as long as you're playing the game, you're going to eventually get those cards. So I
yeah,
think for now, I think the state of the game is quite good. I think it's got longevity at the moment, and I'm looking forward to see what's coming. Yeah, what's coming with the game. Let's
yeah,
yeah, let's get on to this is a very important one. Why we love Marvel Snap. So like we pretty much explained a few things, but I just think it's a really innovative game, really fast game. So like me and my wife have just had a child in the last like few months, so there's times where I need to do things. So you know I got to look after the baby, I got to change its nappy, so I can like play a game. My wife can say, "Hey, can you know hold the baby?" And it's not like, "Oh, hang on, I'm just playing Hearthstone, give me 10 minutes," or I'm playing a game of Valorant, give me 45 minutes. I can just play a quick game and then put it down and, you know, do what I have to do. On that, though, it also means when I have to do chores or do, you know, something, I'm at work at my lunch break, I'm like, oh, maybe I have time for one more game. Oh, just one more. Oh, maybe one more, maybe 2 more games. What's your thoughts on, yeah, why do you love the game, Tom?
yeah. No, I think that's a big plus because a lot of other card games, you know, especially like Pokemon, for example, if you play a proper format, best of 3, that can go well over an hour,
Yeah,
and it's just games go for what, maybe 2-3 minutes
yeah,
at
like
most.
3 max. Yeah,
So you can, when you have those 5 minutes of waiting, you just get a game in. You know, you can, and it's not a lot of because there's only so little you can do. Like you only play maybe 1, 2, 3 cards per turn, depending on what turn it is. But you don't have a lot of moves either, so it's very quick.
yeah,
It's not, you don't have to sit there and think and play 10 cards in one turn
yeah,
and do all these combos.
yeah.
And another thing I think is good is the deck sizes are very small. So I think it's only 12 cards in a deck.
That's right.
So I mean, with Pokemon, I don't think I have the time or the knowledge to make a deck for myself because I feel like there's so many cards and so many things to think about. But with this,
Yeah,
it's 12 cards. You can pretty much. I feel like I've been able to make decks by myself, especially initially when I first started playing.
yeah.
Just looking at what cards synergize and think, oh, okay, I can make that deck and make a deck, even though it's completely different to someone else's, and it still does pretty well. So I think it leads to more creativity because it's just easier to make a 12-card deck than a 60-card deck or a 40-card deck in other games.
Yeah, definitely. You actually you feel like you can look at the cards that synergize with each other and build a decent deck without any, I guess, help. Whereas
Yeah,
like so many other games, it's like, oh, I'll just net deck. Like I'll just get a
yeah,
deck online because someone has put in the time to make a deck. Why would I not copy it and maybe change one card? You know. But yes, you can like. I feel like new players that I've gotten into the game are like, oh, this is really fun. Like I added this card that's it does this, so it's got this cool synergy with another card, and it's just I think that's a fun part of the game. Yeah, definitely. And I think another cool thing about it is because it's especially because it's Marvel, it makes it easy for me to introduce people to the game.
Oh, yeah.
So
No,
like,
100%.
yeah, I think you elaborate on, but like I've been able to tell my non-card gaming friends about the game, and they're like, oh, like it's they hear card game and they go, oh, like that sounds kind of complicated, and then I'm like, oh, it's Marvel, and they go, oh, that's cool, and it's like on mobile. Oh yeah, I'll just download it. It's free, and then they start playing it, and they're like, this is so much fun. Like I'm collection level 200 already, and I'm like, oh yeah, so you're really enjoying the game. Yeah, I think that's a really cool element of it. Tom, what's been your experience with showing people the game?
Yeah, no, exactly the same. I've told people who don't yeah, exactly what you just said, who don't necessarily play card games at all, but
Yep.
love Marvel, love the movies, love everything about it. So just to have characters everyone's familiar with just makes it so much more. It makes it easier for people to try it out or be willing to try it out, knowing the characters. Because I feel like if there was any other IP or they made their own IP for the exact same game,
Yep.
it'd be very hard for it to gain traction. And I think just because of the plethora of Marvel characters there are,
Yeah.
there's so many different cards they could make, so many different characters. So I feel like they've got so so many possibilities
Yeah.
to just make to release characters down the line,
Yeah.
which is just great for them. So
Yeah.
they don't have to, and they don't have to really think of these new characters either. It'll
Yeah.
just be
That's
easier
right.
for them. They've got the IP there. They just need to figure out what they're going to do. So I
Yeah.
think it makes
100%.
the developers' job a bit easier too.
Yeah, I agree that it's like they already have artwork to draw upon, and they've already got the characters, and they're well known characters by a lot of people. I think I think of like Pokemon, like we play Pokemon, and they just recycle the Pokemon.
Yeah,
Hey,
the
let's
exact same
add a
ones.
new ability, add a new like attack. It's just because there's only so many characters that they have in those games. Whereas yeah, they've and here they've got obviously a lot as well, which I think is really cool. But yeah, you're right. I feel like it's hard for a game to launch without an IP that's already established. Like you look at Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, they already had, an anime. I guess Magic the Gathering kind of created its own thing, but that was also like one of the first sort of card
Yeah,
games. So they kind of, I guess, pioneered that. But then I think of a lot of failed card games that just tried to make lore and tried to make an IP, and it just like, yeah, it didn't work. Cool. So, guys, plans for the podcast. We're just looking to, grow the Marvel Snap community. We want to share our love for the game with you guys. We want to hear your thoughts on the game. We want to chat with you guys. So when we start live streaming the podcast on Twitch, we'll be able to answer questions and stuff at the end of the podcast. So we'll be able to communicate with you guys, which will be really fun. Make sure you join the Discord as well if you want to chat just about the game, share decks, that sort of thing. That'd be really cool. So we're going to be doing this every week. So make sure you stay tuned. If you've got friends that are playing the game, let them know about the podcast. Let them know that if they want to stay up with the latest stuff. I like to listen to podcasts when I'm at work. So I sit at a desk all day. So I just pop my headphones in and I listen to tons of podcasts about games, just science, just whatever I'm into. So that's a really cool thing that I do. And I think that's just the beauty of podcasts. Like you can watch it like where you can watch us live, or you can watch it or listen to it, in a year's time if you want to. Tom, did you have any last words you wanted to say before we wrap this up?
No, I think we hit the nail on the head for this introductory episode.
Yeah,
So
I think it was a
not
good
much
one.
else for me.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to be running this podcast with you. And guys, we'll catch you next time. See yous.
Yeah.